Hey, Shalom Yasharala, which means peace to Israel. I'd like to start off by giving our praises, our honor, and our glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Kakwadash. Yahweh, that's the true and powerful mighty name of who the word ignorantly calls God, Jehovah, Yahweh, or Ahaya. Bahashim means in the name. Yahweh Shai, that's the true and powerful mighty name of who the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Yeshua, Yeshua, or Yeshaya. And the Rahach Kodash is the Holy Spirit according to the ancient Paleo Hebrew tongue. I would like to give double honors unto the apostles and elders, a great millstone who have learned the truth of the Bible from. And peace, blessing, safety, and salutation unto the hopeful elect, and to you believers and listeners out there that came back into the faith and obedience of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Much love and respect unto you, brothers, pushing this gospel in sincerity and truth, risking your lives and freedom now more so than ever. May Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai continue to bless you and your households. I'm the brother Yawan, coming back at you with another lesson, Lord willing, is edifying to the Lord's elect. And just want to tap in and go into some different examples of faith, okay, of having faith in the scriptures. And I want to open up with Romans chapter 15, verse 4. For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope. Let's see how that reads in the NLT. Okay, Romans 15:4 in the NLT. Such things were written in the scriptures long ago to teach us. And the scriptures gives us hope and encouragement as we wait patiently for Yahweh's promises to be fulfilled. And that's true. Okay. Now let's get some scriptures. All right, first it goes into Abraham's offering Isaac. Okay. And you go into Genesis 22. Okay, Abraham was commanded by Yahweh to offer up Isaac, the son of promise. He didn't argue, he didn't delay, he prepared him immediately. And that's true, okay? Because Abraham believed that Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai can bring Isaac back. Let's get that account. 22. Okay, Genesis 22:1. And it came to pass after these things that Yahweh did tempt Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him therefore a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning. Okay, like I said, he didn't delay or, tarry. He immediately, okay, and saddled his ass and took two of his young men with him. And Isaac his son, and clave the wood for the burnt offering. He rose up and went unto the place which Yahweh had told him. Now let's jump down to verse 9. And they came to the place which Yahweh had told him of. And Abraham built an altar there and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the life to slay his son. Hold on. I'm gonna read this, and I'm gonna get to where I was trying to get. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of Yahweh called unto him out of the heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here I am. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou fearest God, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. Right. And you fearing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai lines up with faith. Okay, because that's an important factor to have with your faith, is fearing Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. It'll cause you to believe more, just like how Abraham did. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, a ram behind Salakia. Behold, behind him a ram in a thicket, caught up in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. Okay, but it was a point I wanted to get. Okay, here it is, verse 7. Okay, Abraham, Genesis 22 and 7. And Isaac spake unto Abraham his father and said, My father. He said, Here I am, my son. And he said, Behold the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. So they went, both of them together. So Abraham believed, even though, okay, that he was the offerer of Isaac. Okay, Abraham just believed that Yahweh was gonna give him a lamb, and lo and behold, he had a whole ram there, caught up by the horns. Okay, so showing that we just gotta believe in Yahweh Bashim Haushai, no matter the circumstances. Okay, because here it is, Abraham had shit. He had to offer up his pretty much his favorite son, the one that was you know allotted for the promise. But that was just a test of his faith. Okay, Hebrews 11:17 through 19 confirms that Abraham believed Yahweh could even raise Isaac from the dead. Let's get that. Hebrews 11. Hebrews 11:7. By faith, Noah being warned of God, things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark. Okay, no, verse 8 is the one I wanted about Abraham. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out to a place which he should receive for an inheritance, obeyed, and he went out not knowing whither he went. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promises as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs of the promise. He didn't say it. Okay, he didn't say it, but that is true. All right, so Abraham's faith wasn't just lip service, he acted. This is why he's called the father of the faithful. Faith means trusting Yahweh's word even when it looks contradictory. Yahweh promised Isaac would bring forth a nation, yet he told Abraham to sacrifice him. And GMS emphasizes that this is a foreshadow of Yahweh being a sacrificial lamb. True faith looks forward to prophecy being fulfilled even when it's hard to be understood. Okay, Noah building his ark, Hebrews 11:7. Okay, as we read, hold on. That's because hold on, Salakia. I read the wrong thing in Hebrews 7. Okay, Hebrews 11:17. By faith, Abraham, when he was tried, offered up Isaac, and that he had received the promises, offered up his only begotten son, of whom it was said that in Isaac shall thy seed be called, accounting that God was able to raise him up even from the dead, from whence also he received him in a figure. Okay, so Abraham did believe that even though he offered up Isaac, Yahweh was going to be able to raise him up from the dead. Okay, so we got to have faith like this. Now we go back to Hebrews 11:7. By faith, Noah being warned of Yahweh of things not seen as yet. Yeah, because it had rain yet in that time. Moved with fear, prepared an ark. There goes that fear again, fear of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became an heir of righteousness, which is by faith. Okay? Damn, I hate this shit does that. Noah never saw rain before. Okay? No, and nobody on the earth has seen rain before, so things not seen as yet. Like in the lesson I did earlier about Doubting Thomas. Okay? Yahweh blesses those who believe even though they haven't seen. Okay, so Noah never saw rain before. Genesis 2:5-6 says the earth was watered by a mist. Yet he believed Yahweh's warning of a flood. While everyone mocked him, he kept building for 120 years. That's faith with works. And GMS stresses that Noah is an example of how we must trust prophecy about Jacob's trouble and the destruction of Babylon the Great, aka America. Those scoffers laugh. We keep building spiritually because the ark is the truth. The three Hebrew men in the fire, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, in Daniel 3 refused to bow to Nebuchadnezzar's golden image. They even said even if Yahweh didn't deliver them, they wouldn't serve idols. Yahushua, the fourth man in the fire, appeared with them and delivered them. Okay, and let's get that, Daniel 3:16. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Okay, well, to give you context if you're not familiar with the story, Nebuchadnezzar built whenever the music was going off, there was to worship an image that Nebuchadnezzar made, lest they got put in that fiery furnace. And they told Nebuchadnezzar, which we about to read, that they're not going to do it. So Daniel 3:16, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar, we are not careful to answer thee in this matter. If it be so, our God, whom we serve, is able to deliver us from this burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of thy hand, O king. But if not, be it known unto thee, O king, that we will not serve thy gods, nor worship the golden image which thou hast set up. Right, and that's being faithful unto death, man, under persecution. Now jump down to verse 25. I'm gonna start at 24. Then never 23. And these men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, fell down into the midst of the fiery burning furnace. Then Nebuchadnezzar the king was astonished and rose up in haste and spake and said unto his counselors, Did not we cast 3 men bound into the midst of the fire? They answered and said unto the king, True, O king. He answered and said, Lo, I see 4 men loose, walking in the midst of fire, and they have no hurt, and the form of the fourth is like the Son of God. Hey, and then you jump down to 27. All the prince, when they came out of the fire, the princes, the governors, the captains, and the king's counselors being gathered together saw the men upon whose bodies the fire had no power, nor the hair on their heads was singed, neither were their coats changed, nor the smell of fire passed them. All right, so showing that they was protected just from their belief. Okay, so we go back. This is faith under persecution. They faced death but stood firm. GMS always connects that this is the coming MOTB system. Real faith means refusing Esau's order, even if it means being cast into fire, which is tribulation, FEMA camps, guillotines, or whatever. Okay. Their deliverance shows you how Yahushua will be with the elect in the furnace of affliction. The woman with the issue of blood. Mark 5:25. A woman had suffered 12 years, spent all she had on physicians, yet only grew worse. By faith, she touched Yahushua's garment and was healed. Okay, her faith bypassed the worldly system because, she went to all, different types of physicians, which is a healer. Okay. She tried that, and it didn't work out for her, which represents that how trusting in this world, trusting in this system, it doesn't work out for us. But she went to Yahweh. Once she believed and had that faith in Yahweh Shah, she was healed. Okay, GMS teaches that in Jacob's trouble, you won't be able to rely on Esau's system. Faith in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah is the only source of healing and deliverance. And Yahweh Shah said, thy faith had made thee whole. Showing faith is an active power that unlocks mercy. You hear that? Faith is an active power that unlocks mercy. That's why it's important to, have that faith, man. Peter walking on water. Peter stepped out of the boat and walked on water towards Yahushua. But when he saw the wind, he began to sink. Yahushua rebuked him, O thou little faith, wherefore didst thou doubt? And Peter literally did the impossible through faith. But the moment he doubted, he sank. That shows how powerful that doubt is, too. And that's one of the things that's keeping a lot of us anchored, and that's hindering us, is that doubt. Okay? After everything Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has done for us, and we still having doubt. And that's why he's allowing things to happen to us, because we're doubting. We're letting that doubt hinder us, man. And I'm talking to myself first and foremost. GMS highlights this as a lesson for us in Jacob's trouble. If you focus on the storm, chaos, famine, martial law, doubt will make you sink. But keeping eyes on Yahweh Shai keeps you above it all. This proves that faith must remain steady, not wavering, man. Okay, let me get one more scripture. And the water Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for putting the spirit on me to do this lesson. This is Ecclesiasticus, also known as the book of Sirach, chapter 2, verse 10. Look at the generations of old and see, and that's what we pretty much just did. 5 different examples. Did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded? Was Abraham confounded for trusting in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai? No. Or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Was Noah forsaken for moving with fear to build that ark? No, he wasn't. Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? Did Yahweh Shai despise that woman for touching him and, healing herself from that issue of blood? Nah, man. For the Lord is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins, and saveth in the time of affliction. And we must wholeheartedly believe that, man. Okay? So, Abraham, faith is obedience. Okay, examples of faith in scriptures teach us through Abraham, faith is obedience even when it doesn't make sense. Noah, faith is believing prophecy before it happens. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, faith is standing firm under persecution. The woman with the issue of blood, faith is bypassing the system and relying on Yahweh Shai. And Peter shows us faith must be unwavering to withstand tribulation. Faith is always paired with action, obedience, and endurance. And that's why a great millstone constantly push, faith without works is dead, man. Okay? So you got to have faith. Don't be like a wave of the sin being tossed to and fro. Be like a mountain. Okay? Be like a tree that's rooted by the stream, man. All right? So I pray and hope some edification came out of this, giving our praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Kakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and peace, blessing, safety, and salutation to the hopeful elect and to you believers and listeners out there. Shalom.